Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to TNA Sports. This is A.
This is T.
It is time for another week of our favorite sport, college football. Last week, T went 5-5, and Barbie went 4-6, and I went 2-8. It is going to be a lot better week this week, so let's go ahead and before we go ahead, let's start. Barbie's 34-2, so she's 500, and me and T both are 38-2. We're 4 games behind her, so we got some work to do. All right, let's start with game number 1. It is Kansas at Baylor, and Baylor is 8.5. Kansas has done me pretty good this year. They are very good at covering. Somehow Vegas knows how to do their games. And although Baylor is at home, I'm going to rock chalk again. I'm going to pick Kansas to cover the 8.5.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with Baylor here, mainly for them being at home is what I'm really looking at. They are a good team at home. Kansas coming off the loss, going on the road again. I think Baylor's going to put together a 9 or 10 point win.
Okay, let's go to game number 2. Sorry about that. It is going to be my double-digit dog as Syracuse is at Clemson. Clemson 13.5. Coming off the big win on the road at Florida State. Syracuse is surprisingly unbeaten. Got one of the better running backs in the nation. I do not think they'll beat Clemson, but I could see them getting under the 13.5.
I got Clemson in this one. I think Clemson, of course, they're another team. They play better at home. That's most teams, but Syracuse really plays a lot better at home. And I don't think that their quarterback is going to be good enough to keep it within 2 scores.
Okay, go to game number 3, which is Texas on the road in Stillwater, the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Texas is a 6-point favorite. Last week, Oklahoma State's one of the few I got right. I'm going to be a man again and go with Oklahoma State to cover the 6 at home against the Longhorns.
Wow, one of us is probably going to have a good week or one of us is going to have a bad week. I got Texas. I think they played pretty poorly last week, and I just don't think you're going to see that kind of performance 2 weeks in a row. I think Texas is a lot better team. As long as Ewers stays healthy, I think they'll cover.
Okay, game number 4. We got the Fighting Kiffins, Ole Miss at LSU. LSU is a 1.5 point favorite. Not far from a toss-up. But for the whole season, Ole Miss to me has just played better than LSU. And although it is in Baton Rouge, it's actually going to be a day game, a 2:30 game. LSU, for some reason, plays better at night. I'm going with Ole Miss to cover the 1.5 and win straight up.
Yep. My thoughts exactly. I'm taking Ole Miss to win straight up as well.
Okay, game number 5. It is the Chip Kelly Stars as the UCLA Bruins, who are unbeaten. Who would have thought that? They are at Oregon. Oregon is a 6-point favorite. Oregon is a very tough team at home. But I'm going to go outside the box here. I'm going to go with the Bruins to cover. Oregon I think they still will win, but the Bruins will cover the 6 at Oregon.
Wow. I got Oregon. I think Oregon, well, like you said, they play a lot better at home. UCLA has been up and down, and they've only been away from home, I think, once this year. So I'm going to give Oregon a little bit more of an edge in this one.
Okay, game number 6. Minnesota is at Penn State. At good old Mount Nittany. Penn State is a 5-point favorite. I'm going to go with Mount Nittany to rebound after that debacle in the second half against Michigan. I look for them to rebound heavily in this game. I look for them to cover and win going away.
Yeah, basically my thoughts too. Penn State is too good to look that bad 2 weeks in a row. And Minnesota might not have their quarterback, so that too.
Okay, game number 7. The Aggievaders, Texas A&M. They are at South Carolina. A&M is a 3.5-point favorite. This is kind of weird for me. No matter how I pick A&M, they do the opposite. But I'm going to go with, believe it or not, I'm going to go with them to cover and beat South Carolina on the road. A&M to cover the 3.5.
Yeah, I just couldn't pick Carolina. I thought about it, and I was like, man, I've seen them play too many times. I just don't. If Texas A&M plays anything like they gave Alabama, they'll cover this no problem.
Okay, game number 8. Battle for first place in the Big 12 again, as Kansas State is at TCU. TCU, 3.5-point favorite again. Last week I picked the Cowboys and they covered. This week I'm going the opposite. The Horned Frogs at home to take sole possession of first place in the Big 12. They will cover the 3.5.
Yeah, with them being at home, TCU both teams are hot. Man, I saw TCU play last week and they look really good. So yeah, I'm going to take TCU to cover 3.5.
Okay, game number 9 is Duke is at Miami. Miami's an 8.5-point favorite. I really like Miami's defense, which tells you what I think about their offense. But I'm going to, with them being at home, I'm going to go ahead and lay the 8.5. Normally I don't like going with a favorite with that big a point spread, but Hurricanes to cover the 8.5 in this one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Miami too. Duke, I think, after they had that letdown against North Carolina after coming out so strong last week, I think it's going to carry right over into Miami.
Okay, the final game on our board this week, number 10. It is West Virginia at Texas Tech. The Red Raiders are a 7-point favorite at home. Texas Tech is a lot better team than what people realize, especially at home. Ask Texas how hard it is to go into Lubbock and come out with a win. They didn't. I am going with the Red Raiders against the Mountaineers.
Yeah, I don't see any way West Virginia keeps this close at all. I think Texas Tech wins this going away at home.
Okay, what is Miss Barbie's picks for this week?
Okay, so let's start game 1. She has Baylor covering and winning. She has Syracuse covering, Clemson winning. Texas covering and winning. Ole Miss covering and obviously winning. UCLA covering. She doesn't say who she's got winning because they could cover and still not win. Okay, she's got Penn State covering. South Carolina covering. Okay, she just got tired of writing who was going to win. South Carolina's covering. TCU is covering. Miami's covering. And Texas Tech is covering.
Wow, mine and hers is pretty similar this week. Oh, that's a rarity, but we really appreciate everybody listening this week. It's been another great week of college football predicting, and we just look forward to next week and the rest of the year. Just keep listening. Our records will get better, I promise you. And this has been another week of TNA Sports. Everybody out there, you have a good and safe week.
See you guys next time.